House Radio.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to Rag House Radio. I'm your host, April Duran, interviewing girls and women doing badass things. Now, I have to tell you, our special guest, who is a yoga instructor, hence my outfit right now, she is running a little late. She's driving in from Malibu. And guess what, guys? Traffic is back, of course. And so her ETA, she should be walking in any minute now with her gong, which I called bong by accident earlier. I said, can you bring your bong? She said, any day. But yeah, so she's bringing her gong. We're going to talk about her and what she does as a yoga instructor. But also, I have to say what else she does. She is an author and a photographer of 108 Rockstar Guitars. Now, this is her book right here. If you can see it, she actually has access to the most famous guitar players, and she takes photographs of their guitar and she interviews them and she creates a book. Now, I was at her book opening 5 years ago in Santa Monica. It was amazing. And so I just want to show this book. So this is Lisa S. Johnson. She's on her way from Malibu, running a little late, but I have to throw out some names of guitarists that are in this book, of who she had access to their guitars, interviewed, and took photos. The list is nuts. I mean, it just goes on and on. Here we go. Here's a few. Ben Harper, Bonnie Raitt, Bruce Springsteen, Carlos Santana, Eric Clapton. Gosh, I mean, it is just amazing. John Mellencamp, Keith Richards, Lou Reed, Les Paul, Sheryl Crow, Phil Collin. Gosh, it is just crazy. There's so many. Roger Waters. Are you kidding me? She actually, Tom Morello, she had access to their guitars at their home or wherever their guitar is. She cruised in, took photographs, created this book, 108 Rockstar Guitars. So Lisa S. Johnson is on her way from Malibu. She hit a little traffic. So I thought, you know what? This is a perfect time. Now, this is not new for me to be here all by myself. I used to do this for my FM radio station, Hot 103.9, hopefully going back soon, home due to COVID. But I actually thought this is a great time to connect one-on-one with my audience, because I haven't really done that. And so I just want to kind of see if anybody has, commented or anything. And while I'm doing this, I also want to share it. But before we go any further, let me go ahead and share it on my page. And let's see, here we go. And then also, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Hotbox Vintage, out in South Pasadena.
Hi, I'm Delilah, and I own Hotbox Vintage in South Pasadena, California. At Hotbox, our goal is curating vintage pieces that you can't live without. Our collection includes everything from the 1940s to even the early 2000s. What excites us is eclectic and unconventional style, since there's no one-size-fits-all approach to fashion. Hotbox is priced for accessibility so that literally anyone can discover some vintage gems of their own. Plus, it's sustainable. Find us on Instagram and use code RAGHOUSE at checkout for 20% off your first order at hotboxvintage.com.
That's right. So make sure you jump on hotboxvintage.com and make sure you use promo code RAGHOUSE. You get 20% off. Now, Lisa S. Johnson is here. My son is bringing in all her stuff, her gong, not her bong, her gong, like I said mistakenly earlier. So I thought this is a great time. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Great. Sorry.
Oh, no. Don't even worry about it. Come on in. Oh, okay. So, yeah, just take your time. Take your time. There's a restroom right there, too. So while Lisa S. Johnson is, see if she needs help, Joaquin.
Yeah,
with that. Oh, okay. So they're taking care of that. And yeah, it's a little messy. You get a little idea of what a live show consists of with a yoga instructor / photographer author. So I thought this is a great time to actually play some music from my guests from my first week of Rag House Media opening up, which we were supposed to open up the end of March, but due to everything that was happening at the time, we postponed it for a week. So here's a song by Piel. They're out of Los Angeles. This is one of my favorite songs. It's called Custodian. Tiki, the lead singer, is absolutely amazing. And here it is. It's beautiful. And while I play this song, amidst all the news that's happening right now, it's just nuts. I thought we could use some really good news because I'm always trying to stay on like the positive forefront, even though I'm a pessimist. I don't even know if that mixes. But here we go. Here's Custodian by Piel from Los Angeles. Now you can see Tiki, the lead singer, is absolutely amazing. So while this song by Piel, Custodian, is being played, I'm going to tell you some good news because it's all about the positivity, right? So I found out that in the news, a Tanzanian small-scale miner who became an overnight millionaire in June for selling 2 rough tanzanite stones they were valued at $3.4 million, has sold another gem for $2 million. Can you freaking imagine that? That is crazy. So he said with the money, he's going to build a school and health facility in his community. Now that is freaking good news because I know if I jumped on some money, of course I'd want to help the community and help a lot of people, but you know, it takes a special someone to want to do all that for their community. In Chicago, a teen found in the woods 8 days after going missing. So that's crazy because in those kind of stories, there's not, unfortunately, it's not really a good ending. So 8 days. I mean, I know 1 day, 2 days in the woods is nuts. So 8 days for her to live, that's awesome. Also, 3 men, now this is kind of cute. 3 men marooned, well, not cute, but I mean, 3 men marooned in the Pacific are rescued after writing SOS in the sand. Now, I know we see this in the movies and people do it, you know, just messing around. And you always think, like, does it actually work? Well, guess what? It did for these guys. So they were rescued. Now, Lisa S. Johnson is setting up shop right here. You are listening to Piel out of Los Angeles, their song Custodian. And oh my goodness, Lisa, this is amazing. I can't wait till you jump on. Now, if you have any questions during our interview, you can give us a call, 909-477-7321. And we're going to move we'll move the camera when we do yoga. Oh, here's water right here. Yeah. And so that was Biel out of Los Angeles. Now we're going to hear The Fallen Electric. They're out of the Inland Empire until Lisa. Oh, she's here. Hi, Lisa. You look so gorgeous. Oh, come on in. Here, wait. Let's see. Your book is on the cord, so you're just going to want to. Thanks, Joaquin. Yeah, okay. You could close the door, Mijo. Thank you. And here's your mic. What's up, girlfriend?
It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you, too. There you go. Now I have to turn your mic up. How's that?
Okay, great.
There you are. Be careful. These chairs are wiggly woggly.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. So, Lisa S. Johnson, see, we're there.
Hey, okay.
And my tech guy, there's a little delay. My tech guy is at his house. But everybody, Lisa S. Johnson, yoga instructor, also author and photographer of 108 Rockstar Guitars. What's up?
That's it, yeah.
This is it right here. I already introduced it.
That's looking like a well-worn book right there.
Oh, yes. Look at it. Look how many people have looked through it. And I always try to tell them, check out the contents because the names in here are just outstanding. I don't even know of a word. I can't even think of a word. Are you okay? You need some help?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have your hardcover.
Yeah, I brought the hardcover so you could see the contrast of them today. Look, if we hold them side by side, you can see.
Yes.
This one weighs about 9 pounds.
Jeez.
And that one is the smaller version, and it's still really cool. It's the same number of pages, same number of images. just a few of the bells and whistles are not on there. And this is like a red leatherette. It's like really beautiful for coffee table.
I love it. Let's see if do you have the mic in the right way? It's the, yep. So you have this right here. Let me just put your mic up. There you go. Yeah, this is where you talk, just like that.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your drive.
Yeah.
You want to take a breath? You want to drink some water?
I wasn't sure. I haven't actually been stopped in Ontario. I've driven past Ontario. I've never stopped in Ontario.
And why would you?
And I go to Vegas all the time. I'm back and forth all the time. I just drove back on Sunday.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh, yes.
I did the night drive.
Oh, my goodness. That's the best.
I had the sun going down on the right side. And as soon as the sun went down, I looked to the left and there was the moonrise. Unbelievable.
Full moon.
Well, almost the full moon.
Almost.
That was on Sunday. So the full moon was on Monday.
Oh, my goodness, Lisa. It's so good to see you. So her and I, we bump into each other all the time at NAMM, and we met at your book show in Santa Monica. This show right here. Do you remember?
Oh
you had so many people there. That was 5 years ago?
That's right. At Ron Robinson.
Yes, at Ron Robinson in Santa Monica.
Okay.
And this is when you wrote, I remember driving home and you're like, for April, one chick who knows how to rock. I was all, that's right.
That's the truth.
Thank you so much. So, okay, first question now. Everybody knows who is tuning in. We're going to do a little yoga at the end. Go ahead and take some sips. We have some people tuning in right now, and I just want everybody to know that Lisa S. Johnson is absolutely amazing. Yoga, hence our outfits. We're going to do some yoga towards the ending. But let's talk about your book, man. This thing is just like amazing. My first question, because there's so many top-notch huge people. Let me throw out names again for those just tuning in. We have Carlos Santana, Sheryl Crow. We have Keith Richards. We have Eric Clapton. Just so many. Bonnie Raitt, Ben Harper, Dan Navarro. Access. How do you get access to their guitars? Now, we don't want to know like your you smile right away like, yeah, right, I'm going to tell you how you get access. But is there something that how do you start the access process?
Well, it started with Les Paul. Really.
Oh, okay.
I was in New York. I moved to New York from Memphis, Tennessee, which was actually where I started photographing guitars.
Oh, okay.
I started dating the guitar player at church.
Oh, okay.
And my father, growing up, told me I was not allowed to date,
musicians.
So I called him up and, Dad, I'm dating a musician, and he's the guitar player at church. And she's like, that's okay. That's different. He's not a touring musician.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, Andy owns a vintage guitar store. And he's like, oh, wow. That's even better.
Yeah.
If he ever gets in a Gibson mandolin, I've always wanted one.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks later, he did. And he asked me, I said, hey, I want to get that for my dad as a present. And he's like, you can't afford it, but if you photograph some guitars for me, I have to sell that I don't want to sell. I'll trade you.
Oh.
And so at that time I was working for Eastman Kodak, and I was always using our films to understand them so I could sell them. And we had a T-Max P3200 black and white film that had just come out, and for photojournalists, very grainy, beautiful, fine art, black and white. And then there was also a paper that we'd come out with that had a thick tooth to it that was designed for hand coloring, hand tinting prints. So I was photographing objects and then hand tinting them on that. So he said, I want you to photograph some vintage guitars for me I have to sell, and I want them done that way, black and white with the hand tinting, and then I'll trade you for the guitar. So, the mandolin. So I got that mandolin for my dad in trade.
I met your dad. Remember, I met your dad at NAMM. He's such a fine gentleman.
Yeah.
I have to say. He's amazing.
Rolling around on a scooter and like saying hi to everybody. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember him saying hi to everyone, and him and I had a good conversation. He's just such a social butterfly. I loved it. He's just living life. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome.
It was so awesome to have Dad at NAMM. So yeah, he's up there in Canada right now.
Nice.
He'll be 84 in January.
Oh my goodness.
They're doing great.
Good.
So anyway, I was with Kodak, and the next thing I knew, I was in New York City working for them, and Les Paul played every Monday night at the Iridium Room, and so I felt comfortable going down there because I grew up listening to Les Paul and Mary Ford with my dad playing them, and so I'd go down there. I didn't know anybody in New York, so I had to go out by myself. I went to the Rainbow Room by myself.
How
one night,
fun!
Had champagne and looked at the view.
Oh my God!
It's the famous scene from When Harry Met Sally.
Yes,
That's the Rainbow
yes.
Room. I was in that room, and I was seated where they were seated. And, that room is gone now. They've completely taken it out, and it's like a lookout view thing.
I hate when they do that. Yeah, but things change. Things change, unfortunately.
Yeah. So Les Paul said yes to letting me photograph his guitar.
That's
night.
freaking crazy. That is crazy. And so that opened up the door for everything else.
I showed him the vintage guitar photos that are hand tinted, and then he would say, "There's that girl who does that guitar art." And so
That's cute.
I'd hang out with him backstage when I could, and we just got to know each other. And 12 years later, I photographed his guitar first. And so how did I get access? I would call and say, "Look, I photographed Les Paul's guitar, and I'm working on, testing films," because I was, and I am creating a book project on this. I just decided right away I'm going to I'm in New York City. Every amazing band comes through, so I'm going to go for this. And so that's what I did. I started calling the record labels. Like I'd look on the CD covers and I'd see,
RCA,
yeah, whoever, and then it was in the phone book.
Are you? Oh, this was.
Yes. Faxes.
Yeah.
I remember faxing ZZ Top's management, faxing them, and I'm like, come on, in big letters.
Yeah.
And still, I didn't get through. I mean, I had to ask, I had to meet Billy Gibbons underneath the stage at a Rolling Stones concert one night to say, "Hey, I've been trying to get through to you. I would really love to photograph your guitar." And I just photographed Keith Richards' guitar and Ronnie Wood's guitars for my book. And I would love to have him. He's like, "Of course you can photograph my guitar."
All you needed was just one name, man, and then it just opened up the door for everybody.
So 12 years later, I'm sitting with Les Paul at the reading room, and I'm like, "Listen, Les, remember when I photographed your guitar all those years ago?" And he, I'd seen him several times through the process, and he was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, yours was the first I photographed, and you're their hero. Like, here's a stack of photos of excuse me, my throat." Here's Zach Wiles' Les Paul, and here's Don Felder's Les Paul, and here is, all these different Les Paul, Slash's Les Paul, and you're their hero. So would you consider writing the foreword for the book? And because you've been with me along this ride. So he did.
Oh my God, in spirit and in pictures. And this is why it said "Forward" by Les Paul.
Yeah.
Right here on the cover, it says, I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. If you're just tuning in, this is Lisa S. Johnson, yoga instructor, hence our outfits. We're going to do yoga in like a few minutes, but she also is not just a yoga instructor. She's a photographer / author, and she takes pictures of extremely famous people's guitars. And man, girl, you probably have so many stories, huh? Stories that I'm not going to ask her with that little laugh, but I'm going to just throw this out again for those of you just tuning in. Check this out. These are guitars she's touched, photographed, interviewed some of them. Ben Harper, Brian Setzer, Carlos Santana, Dave Navarro, Eric Clapton, Sheryl Crow,
Nancy Wilson,
Keith Richards,
Ronnie Wood,
Jeff
Beck,
Jack
White,
Tom Morello,
love.
Oh my goodness, Slash.
Yep.
Roger Waters. You already. I mean, the list goes on and on. It is crazy. Now, before we get into what's up and coming for Lisa S. Johnson, 108 Rockstars Guitars, where can they find 108 Rockstar Guitars?
You can find it on Amazon.com, and you can also find the hardcover edition on Amazon. The best place to find it, though, is on the Roman and Littlefield website, because they are the ones who published the softcover edition.
Okay.
And they sell both editions on their website, Roman and Littlefield. It's ROWMAN. It's Roman.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
is that a well-known publisher? Is that, if people are, okay.
They acquired this publishing, the boutique publishing side of Hal Leonard. So Hal Leonard actually was the publisher of this book.
Oh, okay.
And so now that division of specialty books from Hal Leonard was purchased by Roman and Littlefield, which is a much larger company that deals more in the boutique book side of things.
Got it.
Yeah, they're a really great publisher and great people to work with. John Cirillo is the gentleman I work with there, and he's a Buddhist. Oh. And that's how we connected, because I walked my hardcover edition into the Hal Leonard booth at NAMM, and I said, hey, I would be really interested in having this book published as a softcover edition, and he's like wearing malas and beaded bracelets, and I could see he was a yogi, and so we hit it off that regard. He was 25 years practicing Buddha, and the book cover has a lotus flower on the cover of it.
I noticed that, yes.
And the number 108, it's a cosmic number in yoga philosophy. So after I moved from New York City, Kodak transferred me to Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
And
okay.
I was like, hey, every band plays in Vegas. It was even a better location for me to be for the project, because every band comes through Vegas.
That's
just like New York.
So just like LA.
It was so difficult leaving New York because I love New York. I love the essence and the spirit of New York City.
Where are you from originally? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Northern California. So
you're a California girl.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed it.
Yeah, I'm a dual citizen. Really? You wouldn't have guessed it?
No, because you just seem more exotic and more. I would have thought New York. Or I would have thought,
Well, I mean, when I lived in New York, I really felt like I was born in, that I was a New Yorker. And I still, when I'm there, I feel like New York running through my veins. I am a California girl, though, through and through. I was
what part
here,
of NorCal?
Corning, California, which is it's by the Redwood Forest. It's
nice.
It's near the border of Oregon.
Very cool.
My parents had moved down for a couple of years, for 9 years from Canada, and I was born 2 years into their journey. And then they moved back to Canada when I was 7. So I grew up there and went all my high school and everything was in Canada, and I grew up on classic rock.
Nice.
Canada,
of course you did.
Around the bonfires late at night, burning and drinking beers around a big bonfire.
Oh my God, how fun. I've never been to Canada.
To
I want
Boston,
to go. Of course. Chicago.
Fleetwood Mac and Van Halen and just Alice Cooper.
Nice.
Kiss, David Bowie.
All the good stuff.
The Blue Oyster Cult.
The list goes on. And then you're probably photographing some of the people that you used to listen to, some of their guitars.
Those were the first ones, my
goodness.
Like, I had actually moved to New York from I was in Nashville because I was in Memphis. So Nashville was part of my territory. And I had one of my clients there. He is a photographer. He's still the house photographer for the Ryman Auditorium. Very good friend of mine. He was
very cool.
And so he gave me a CD, Ben Harper, and
I love Ben Harper.
Fight for Your Mind. When Fight for Your Mind came out.
Did you know? Okay, this is a little tidbit. Okay, so we're in the Inland Empire in Ontario, and I know Claremont, downtown Claremont's right down the street from here, but it's considered Los Angeles. It's the border of Los Angeles County. Now, there's a music store, and they play like a lot of they have a lot of instruments, like wood instruments you wouldn't see, very unique. Ben Harper's wife, Lauren Hunt. Right?
Oh, I don't know. I never met his wife.
Ben Harper's wife is the famous actress in Twister.
Really?
What's her name? Laura Hunt. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Her parents own that music store in Claremont, so he's there from time to time. And you would never gosh, it was many years ago. I think we walked in and he was there. I forget. But anyways, I just had to throw that out about Ben Harper. So the IE is not so bad.
I actually didn't meet him at the time. He was performing at the Beacon Theater in New York. And that's one where I had called up I looked at the CD and I called the record label, and they agreed they asked him and they agreed. So I showed up at the Rose Land Ballroom and they said I had no lights at that time. I didn't shoot with lights. I relied totally on my film. I was working for Kodak, and I had the T-Max P3200 high-speed film, and I had the color infrared film, which was also designed for high speed. It was actually we made it for NASA to shoot vegetation from space. Yeah, and I actually photographed Lou Reed's guitar with that in New York City, and he ended up posting that the week he passed away of his guitar that I had used Kodak color infrared film, used by NASA to photograph vegetation from space. I mean,
oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, and his is the sexiest guitar photo in the whole book.
That is so cool that she says sexy, because guitars are pretty sexy.
They're hot.
They're shaped. Just the shape. I mean, last night I interviewed 2 bass players, and bass players' guitars are so different, but just the shapes of, guitars and basses.
The guitar always turned me on. My girlfriends were always into the lead singer, and I was always into the guitar player, because the sound of the guitar is the sound of an orgasm.
Yes,
a good solo.
And what's what would be a good word, a good juicy word to describe it? But the drummer would be the building up, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So the drums is the building up, and the guitar playing is the actual orgasm. There you go. See, we're learning a little sex ed here. So Lisa S. Johnson,
girl
yoga
talk.
instructor. Yeah, girl talk.
This is what you call girl locker room talk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our locker room. I don't know if a lot of girls would be this open, but I always know that you're so open, and a lot of my friends are. So that's the spirit. That's so awesome.
It's just the truth.
It is the truth. So I have a few questions for you. So that first one of access. So now.
Right. So Les Paul helped with that, because I said the first person on my list was like, well, I've worked with Les Paul, and he's the hero of everybody. So
it's all ding ding,
and I was working for Kodak too, and that definitely helped as well. So
I love beginning stories. I love hearing stories of people how they start, because you think, oh, they had the amazing this and that and everything. No, everybody starts somewhere, and like you said, you didn't have lights, you did infrared, but then that put on that cool creativity spark to it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's so cool. So let's talk about what's up and coming for 108 Rockstar Guitars.
Okay. Well, my next book, it's called Immortal Axes.
Oh, whoa. Okay, you heard her right. Her next book. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness.
And I love the title because every guitar holds a stories.
Oh, I can imagine.
They are co-created by the person who plays them. Mm-hmm. And so when that person is creating, that guitar is holding the notes that the creator put into them. And it knows the truth and the vibration. It holds the truth and vibration of that person. So when that song is played, it's immortalized. That guitar is immortalizing that music, that unique sound that player put into it, or maybe a subsequent player. And when the player does pass on, the music becomes even more immortal.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So every guitar is immortal because every song is immediately immortalized in the wire and wood.
Yes.
So I love Immortal Axis, and there's so many incredible guitars out there that have created music that are so immortal in our minds. We're never going to forget them. They take us back in time. They take us to the future. They bring us into the now. They take us to orgasms. They take us into deep space. And so
depression.
You go to
some
Nirvana.
of them even go the other way, like with those those fillings. Now it's so crazy because while you're telling the story, I'm going to flip through pages to show them some of the photographs of these guitars, and just because I'm sorry.
I just started seeing pictures, and I was going to tell you something, but it's cool. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's amazing because you see the person playing it, but you don't quite pay attention to what they look like.
Right. And that's the cool part, that fans can't get this close to the guitars to see the wear and tear. Like, this is Rick Nielsen's guitar, and it's a checkered guitar, and the whole guitar is so lacquer checked from travel and years of wear and tear that when you see it from afar, you can see that it's the checkered guitar. But when you see it up close, you can see the whole patina on the entire guitar is completely cracked, and you see the top of the headstock is all chipped off, and there's a chip on the corner there, and whatever he's got written on the truss rod cover, it's cool. And Alex Lifeson's name is on the truss rod cover, and he called this guitar Al. Like, you would have known that.
Al?
He called it Al.
I wonder why they get the names.
Alex Lifeson, Al, and he'd just gotten this with abalone inlays.
Nice.
And this one here was his number one, his Gibson stereo guitar. What is it, an ES? Where does it say? Yeah, 335. I always forget. Yeah, 355. 355. So these are incredible guitars and basses, and I mean it's the Rush guys are just, I grew up listening to Rush in Canada, and Geddy, came out with his big, beautiful book of bass last year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And because I had included these guys in this book, they contacted me and said, we want to send you a copy of the book, of Getty's book.
Nice.
So I'm like, how cool. So they sent me a deluxe signed edition by Getty. And then they were at the Rock Hall doing an interview. They were doing a tour, promotional tour, the two of them together. And the interviewer at the Grammy Museum says to Alex, so hey, Alex, now that Getty's come out with his big, beautiful book of bass, are you going to come out with your big, beautiful book of guitars? And he's like, nah. He goes, I'd rather play them. Anyway, there's already so many great guitar books out there. For example, that one by Lisa Johnson.
No, he threw out your name.
And Getty goes, yeah, 108 rock star guitars. And Alex goes, we were lucky enough to be in that book. And Getty goes, it's the one to have.
Oh my gosh. So you heard that. So you're the talk of the guitar.
So I wanted to show you this. So this is Ronnie Wood's guitar. This is like the holy grail of archtops. This is an L9 Gibson. And when he was early days playing with the Stones, there was a newspaper article that came out that had Ronnie Wood and Keith Richards playing. And the caption is Ronnie Wood pictured here with Keith Richards, who provided, support for the Rolling Stones last night. Fine support for the Rolling Stones last night. And that's taped onto the back of his guitar that he warms up with.
Wow.
With Keith, who plays the ES350. And these are the two guitars that they warm up with before shows.
Did you ever play guitar? I mean, you have to, know all the lingo.
But this one here is the Keith's guitar. And you could see the pick guard, and it's all etched out with his skull ring,
Oh, yeah.
So, you would never see that unless you can get up close. And I got up close to that guitar, sister.
Oh, my goodness. That is so crazy. I wish I
got some satisfaction out of that.
You sure did. Did you get an orgasm out of that?
Well, a mental one. I mean,
for sure. That's what we're talking about here. Mental orgasms, for sure.
I mean, at the time, I've hovered over Jimmy Page's 1968 Gibson ES 1275 Stairway to Heaven guitar.
Oh my God. Now I can imagine, do you ever get nervous when you're near them? Because it's almost like, gosh, I would just start getting nervous and start sweating, I think, or afraid you're going to damage it or something.
Honestly, that's where the yoga comes in.
Oh,
Seriously.
yes.
That's why the book's called 108 Rockstar Guitars.
I was calling it 108. Sorry.
No, you can say 108.
Oh, okay.
But it's 108. But yeah it's 108. And it's a yogic number. It's a cosmic number. Just go to 108 Wikipedia. It's alignment with the sun, the moon, the earth, 108 times diameter of the earth to the sun and the moon. It's all lining up.
That's so crazy. Now, I know I met some guy and his guitar was so pretty, but he had cigarette burns.
Yeah, that's like Slash's guitar that's in here. It's a 1985, I think, Gibson. A 1987. Slash is the next guitar.
Oh, right here?
In the book.
This one? Keep
going. Keep going one more time.
Now, when I worked at the Wiltern, I met Slash in the parking structure
that's cool.
Down below when I used to work for...
there it is.
There it is. Slash.
Where'd you meet Slash? 1987 Gibson Les Paul Standard. Playing in one night with Alice Cooper, and cigarette dropped on it and created that burn. So he's got Alice Cooper mojo on it. That
is so crazy. But the guy that I knew, he lived on my block when I lived in Orange County in Newport Beach, and he had tons of cigarette burns. And I'm like, why would they? When I worked at the Wiltern.
Okay.
So they would bring in all the famous artists down, because we would park down below in the parking structure. And I just remember I had my Mini back then, because my son, he was still little, so we were able to rally around in it. And so I was parking and I turn over and I see the stage manager, the main guy, the head honcho, and he's walking with somebody, and I look and it's freaking Slash. And I was like, and we had to sign all these. When I first got a job there, we had to sign all these releases, you can't go up to the person, you can't blah, blah, blah. So I quickly left my car and made sure I walked with them, but behind him, just so I could and he smelled of good conditioner. I'm like, oh, good. He washes his hair. That was the first thing I thought of, because you know how you hear the guy from Doors, he never took showers or whatever. But
Jim?
Yeah, but that was just in the movie. I don't even know if it was true or not. But this is Slash's guitar. How cool is that? Now, any cool story?
So when the cool story is Alice Cooper night. He's playing with Alice, and he got the cigarette burn on there. But when I went to photograph his guitar the first time, I did it twice. This was from the second shoot. The first time was in Toronto. A friend of mine was a friend of mine's friend was doing the PR for a game, the opening of the Red Sox the Boston Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. And at the Blue Jays Stadium in Toronto, he's like, hey, my friend's handling this whole thing. She can get you Slash's guitar. I'm like, I'm there. So I flew to Toronto. Wow. And I worked with Adam Day, his guitar tech at the time. And it was a black Les Paul that he had. And he was playing the national Canadian and the American national anthem. So I photographed the guitar. And afterwards, Adam goes, hey, you want to go meet Slash? I'm like, sure. He's out in the middle of the field sound checking. So we walk out to the middle of the field and there's Slash. And he's like, hey, you're the one photographing my guitar today. And I'm like, yeah.
How cool.
That's so cool. He goes, everyone wants to photograph me and you just want to photograph the guitar. He's like, that's awesome.
Very nice.
That was cool. And then a month or whatever later, Velvet Revolver was coming through Las Vegas. I can't remember the exact timelines. It's like such a blur over so many years. And Adam texts me, goes, hey, you want to photograph the real guitars? Because that one was just flown in for that gig because it was a Gibson promo because he's doing the national anthem. Of course, stuff.
Yeah.
So I went down and met up with him, and we shot all these guitars that are in the book.
And he was right there.
No, he wasn't there. He was, this is why I've had success, because I'm not requesting the artist to be there. So I've met tons of the artists. Like I've met Slash 3 times. And just not at the shoot. I did meet him at the shoot. I met him in the middle of the game. But then the second time, he wasn't around, But I made images and sent them over, and he loved them. And I got, I worked with Adam.
Oh, my God. So is there like a guitar
in fact,
mom?
Sorry to interrupt, but what's cool is that
okay.
one time I went to the Marquis Hotel in L.A., having lunch there with Seguizo. This guy was in town, Seguizo. He's like one of the best, he's known as one of the best guitar players in Japan. So he happened to be in town, and I wanted to give him a copy of the book personally, and so we met at the Marquis for lunch. So when we walk into the hotel, we're walking toward the restaurant, and there's Slash standing there, and I walk over to him, I'm like, hey, Slash, how's it going? I'm the photographer that photographed your guitar. And he's like, oh, cool, I just got a huge box of prints, and they're awesome. I'm like, right on, so I said, this is Seguizo. He's like, with the band Lunacy and X Japan in Japan. And he's like, oh, cool. So they met and they, connected.
So we went
and had lunch.
All three of you.
And then, no, me and Seguizo. And then on our way out, Slash was there doing a launch party for an animated film that he was coming out with. And so on the way out, he's like, hey, what's your friend's name again? I'm like, it's Seguizo. He's like, yeah. So they talked again. And we left. And I didn't realize until just in the last couple of months that Seguizo and Slash's guitars were placed side by side in the book.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't even notice that until a couple of weeks ago.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, I know. So these are like synergistic things, synchronicities, and like cosmic things that happen that music weaves you in. Like who would have ever thought that I would have introduced Seguizo to Slash?
I know, right? And they're probably like best buddies. And
and they never contact me. I'm like out of the picture.
No, but they think of you. Like, you're probably you're definitely, I'm sure, that cool woman that they all remember. Because like you said, you just want to picture their guitar, not them.
I'm a huge Soundgarden fan. I mean, Kim Thayil. I love this SG.
This is Soundgarden's.
Yeah, and Chris Cornell.
Very cool. So if you're a guitar player, you're into guitars, you love Lisa S. Johnson, 108 Rockstar Guitars. And now, oh shoot. Okay, see, I'm so sorry.
It's this plush rug you've got here.
It is, huh?
She's got really thick carpet.
I'm so sorry. I'm so glad you didn't fall.
It's okay. I'm a yogi. I'm like balancing.
You totally just landed on all 2 feet, man. Or she's just landing. Now, we started talking about your new book that's coming out.
Yeah, okay. So Immortal Axes. And it's really about the celebration of the immortality of the music that is played and created on these works of art, as guitars are, and luthiers are amazing artists. And so it's a celebration of that as well. And so this next book has so many incredible people, like Jerry Cantrell is in it from Alice in Chains, and Mike Starr's bass, and he passed away. So we have an immortal, someone who has passed on. B.B. King's, the last 2 guitars that were his number ones are in this book.
Wow.
I knew his daughter lived in Las Vegas. B.B. lived in Las Vegas, and he lived almost right next door to a good friend of mine, and she'd take him a pie every now and then.
That is
and
so cool.
Got to know his daughter, and so Patty and I became friends, and she
B.B.'s daughter.
Yeah, and so we have the guitar that he's playing with Eric Clapton. He's riding in the back seat for Riding with the King. He's playing that guitar. It's the Lucille of Diamonds that Gibson.
My mom's name is Lucille, and she always talks about BB because of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Such a great story, the Lucille story. And Oh my gosh, John Mayall is in this next book. 2 handmade guitars. He makes his own guitars by hand, and then he embellishes them with silver and turquoise and all kinds of cool stuff. Let's see.
How long does it take you to make because I know it takes some time because you're traveling and you're trying to contact. How long does it take how long did it take to make this book?
Well, the first book, start to finish, like hold it in your hands, it was 17 years. Because I was working for Kodak. You know, I had a full-time job. This was a side hobby. And then I ended up moving to Vegas, and I owned 2 yoga studios there. I got into yoga as soon as I moved to Las Vegas. And so bands would come through town, and I would, teach a yoga class, and I'd go photograph someone's guitar, or I'd take that day off, what have you. And so over time, and then finally, it was tough. The yoga business is difficult. It was hard to really make money for all the effort you put into it. And so
I bet, yeah.
I thought, let me finish off this book and work on it full time for a while. So I did that, and then completed the book, and then got into the NAMM cycle of going to NAMM every year.
Yes.
And so I haven't stopped shooting in all of these years. I mean, even I had to, finish. I was still kept shooting on guitars I couldn't put in this book, So some of those are going in this next one. And then this one will have more than 108 because there's just so many that we've shot. It's like
208 rock star guitars.
Yeah, it's not going to be a number. It's Immortal Axes now.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I'm so excited. So your second book, is there a date or estimation of when it's going to come out?
Well, we were talking about fall of 2021.
Okay, that's soon.
Yeah, and now with the world situation,
right.
I think things are on hold. So I have several pending shoots that are coming up that are already approved, and that requires me to go to London.
Awesome.
For Susie Quattro's bass.
Oh my gosh! To live in your, can I just jump in your suitcase, girl, man? All the places you go.
She came to NAMM this year.
Oh, she did? Yeah, I didn't go to NAMM last year, unfortunately. Yeah.
And Patty Quattro's guitar's in there.
Jeez.
So I got the Quattro sisters.
Nice.
And, we've got June Millington. We've got, our ladies. Bree Darling.
Very good.
From Fanny. And it's just, it's a labor of love. I mean, Tom Petty, I went to New Jersey and photographed the guitar, that Flying V that inspired the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers logo, with the Flying V through it. I got to photograph that guitar, and I got I think it's a 74, what year is it? The Gretsch that Malcolm Young played during the Back in Black tour, and more than Black and Black. I mean, that guitar is really historic. Tony Iommi's Gibson SG, the Monkey SG.
Wow.
That was a cool guitar to photograph because the whole fretboard is lacquered because his playing hand, he had, his finger sliced off, so he plays with these
That's right.
kind of thimbles on. And so the whole fretboard is like a slippery kind of lacquer.
So he could just Oh my goodness.
So you see these details, so that's in the next book coming up. I mean, there's so many, it's really like this next book is probably, this came out in 2013. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It might be 22, so it might be 9 years in the making, this one. So this one's half the amount of time.
Wait, this came out in 2013.
Yeah, the hardcover was 2013, the softcover was 2014.
And that's when I met you. In Santa Monica, or
we met in 2014. Yep.
Wow, I thought it was 2015, and you look the same. You look better.
Something. It could have been 2015. That's because of yoga.
That I think it is, which I can't wait to talk to you about, because with my age 47 and anxiety and blood pressure rising, yoga I think is the key. Now she's also a yoga instructor, so I can't wait. I've never taken a yoga class, which a lot of people freak out because I'm active, right? But I'm active in like a speed sense. I need to run. I need to,
That's me too.
But then yoga for me, anyways, anxiety's ruling my life right now, especially with everything's going. And I never had anxiety before. So when you said taking pictures of these guitars, and that's when yoga pops in, that Zen or is it Zen or Zen or
Zen, You're in the moment. It's just like right now, we're in the moment. We're in what we call the nod. We're in the flow of energy right now. So nothing else really exists for us. We're sitting in this room. We're talking. It's you and me. And there's nobody else. And so this could be all of total of the existence of the world right now. We can't see anything. Nothing else exists. So the only thing that exists is this moment right here. So yoga helps us to remember that when we are having anxiety. And then we can find a place of stillness and a place of neutral mindedness. And so it's just like when I'm photographing guitars, everything else falls away. And I'm using my body to anchor myself so I can balance, because I get an hour usually to photograph guitar.
That's not a long time.
Yeah. Especially the reason it's because you're backstage if it's before a show. Like the majority of guitars I photographed have been before shows. So you're at sound check around that time. In later years, I've also been to a lot of artists' homes, which is fantastic because then you can shoot in their own environment and it adds to it. However, backstage shots are cool, depending if you have any other gear around, or, I bring black velvet, so I always have something luxurious for it to be on.
Right.
But yoga is very much a part of the process because I'm squeezing my abdominal muscles. I'm very aware of my body. I'm squeezing my elbows in. I'm focusing through a small viewfinder. I'm having to think about my light. Where's my light hitting? How do I need to move that light? Usually I'm by myself. I don't have an assistant. I just want to be low key. It's me. I only need one pass. I have one light bag. I got one camera bag. I can carry it all myself. So that's how you're able to get access and get a good referral, because I was never a pain in the ass. I got in and out in an hour. Yeah. And these guys are busy. They got stuff to do.
They don't want to mess around with anybody trying to, take pictures of their guitars.
Sometimes
so you're
you go
perfect.
in there and you get, a lot of like 99% of all the guitar techs are phenomenal. And sometimes you get one that's a little grumpy.
Oh, for sure, because they're traveling and they have to deal with
tired,
probably
and they
babysitting.
Deal with me, and they're hungry. They want to go eat. They want to go sleep. They want to do anything else but work.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
want to deal with somebody that's coming in. So anyway, I love those guitar techs. They really make it happen. And they give me most of the information that I get. Jackson Brown's going to be in this book. His two most important guitars, and he's got a lot.
That is so cool.
And I met him at the Mark Knopfler concert last year for the first time. I had many exchanges, and we even exchanged via email before. I just hadn't met him. So I'm sitting down. We sit down. We're at Mark Knopfler. And the curtains come up. The show is starting. And I feel the shuffling behind me. So someone's coming in and they're getting seated. And so I just kind of look at the side, you're distracted, right? And like, I just being in my head, I'm like, familiar face. Who? And then I'm just like, who is that? And then I just kind of went, that was Jackson Brown. Anyway, okay. So the show's on, and then my friend comes and she sits down. And when she sits down, she texts me and she goes, who is that behind you? Is that somebody? And I'm like, is it Jackson Brown? And so anyway, after the show, throughout the show, I'm hearing this person talking behind me and saying like amazing things about Mark Knopfler and how just admiration. And in the end, like stood up and gave a standing ovation. And I'm like, this is cool. And I turn around, the lights go on, and it's Jackson. So I go, hey, Jackson, it's Lisa. I, work with your management to photograph your guitar, your Roy Smack guitars. And, so we had a nice little chat. Yeah.
So,
it was so
sweet. So sweet.
It was so cool to meet him. I don't know why I started bringing up Jackson, but
either way, that was a great story.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, so yoga is just one of the things that Lisa S. Johnson does. And so it is so amazing. Please be careful. I hope you don't. Now you know the chair is
unbalanced. I got it together.
And this is why we normally don't use these. My tech guy, Richard, we talked about it. We're just like, they're not steady. So let me see if anybody has said anything. Oh gosh, Susie Corey, she's an artist up in Canada. She said, hey, sweetheart.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
hey,
so
Susie.
that's cool.
I wonder where in Canada, because my sister lives in Toronto, and I grew up in Edmonton Eskimos, Edmonton Oilers sister.
How cool. Yeah, Susie Corey, let us know where you're from Canada. She's been down actually in Los Angeles. She's worked with some heavy hitters because she's such an amazing artist.
So we got Loverboy's guitars in this next book, Susie.
Oh,
Big
there you go.
Canadian band.
Yes, yes. TJ also said Lisa J is on an awesome mission. That's really cool.
Who said that? TJ?
TJ,
Iwasco.
yes,
That's my bro. Hey, Tommy.
yeah,
T-Bone.
he's tuning in.
He was also one of my clients in Houston, Texas. A phenomenal photographer.
Oh, cool.
He photographed
Very cool.
John Lee Hooker. He's got great photos of John Lee Hooker.
That is so cool. Junior McDowell. Everyone's story is kind of the same. Didn't know what one thing was going to turn into. I wonder what that's about. Does that kind of make sense?
I don't know.
Clarify. Great story. Oh, he's just talking about your stories. Good stories. So there's a lot of people tuning in. What's up, Michael, Ramon, Paul, Elisa, Via? What's up, girl? She's an owner of Morano Beach Records. She rules. Jimmy Ganzer from the Fallen Electric. What's up? We'll be interviewing you in a couple weeks. Now let's get into the yoga part. Now this is this is the cool part. Now, the cool part in this is that I've never tried yoga before. And as you can see, I've actually, as much running and stuff that I've done, I've actually gained weight because of this crazy COVID. You know, I'm just sitting at home. Oh, and then I had a hysterectomy. I had to have a hysterectomy a year and a half ago. And I remember a lot of women saying, and for you men who are tuning in, whatever, you guys can handle this. But I remember a lot of women saying, your body will want to gain weight. And so I was like, nah, are you kidding me? Well, sure enough, yeah, just one little, 3 cheat days and I can't put on my like sexy jeans, but it is what it is. So yoga, everyone's been trying to tell me to start yoga because it's the best thing to do with anxiety. So we're going to do some moving around in the room. I'm going to start some music here, and
I'm going to play my special music for you.
Oh, good.
For yoga, if that's all right. I brought a little speaker, in fact.
Let's see if we can do this. Can we put your lid on your water so it doesn't spill? While you're setting up, I'm gonna just put something on.
Okay.
And then we're gonna set up really quick for some yoga. So bear with us. Our apologies. Oh wait, you have your headphones on still. Quick, we are going to start some yoga here. I'm going to turn this off, and you can connect it to the Bluetooth. It's Rodecaster. Here, let me pair it up. Let's see. Okay.
Boom 3.
Okay, go ahead and try to pair up yours now.
It's looking for other devices and it's not showing up. Right, here it is.
Okay.
Took a while. I don't know why.
Because mine was on. Okay. Okay, so you could play something if you'd like. Do you want it loud or low? Okay. Let me give you your... Now, we're not going to be able to really hear the music because you'd have to have your headphones on. Can you have your headphones on? Here, I'll move this. What's that? Okay. Yeah, to talk.
I think it's going to be a lot easier.
If we leave them on? Yeah. Let's try it.
Because then we can hear each other. And,
Yeah. It's always new.
I mean, they're hearing the music too, right?
Yes? Can you hear the music?
I can
That's
hear
you.
the music.
Yeah.
Are we live here still?
Yep.
Hi guys, sorry about all this.
It's okay. This is kind of cool. I like this.
Okay. So let's rock and roll.
Okay.
All right. So I love to rock guitars. I love the sound of guitars, and I love to rock some yoga because when you open your body, that's how we get out of the mind. And playing the guitar or doing something that you're passionate about, it gets you out of your mind.
Look at how cool. Okay, you're like a pretzel.
So yoga is like a meditation. Playing guitar is a meditation,
Uh-huh.
Driving a car is like a meditation. So we find that meditative space. So I'm going to turn straight. So yoga helps us to calm our central nervous system so we can calm down and not feel so much anxiety and can become neutral minded. So we can deal with the chaos of life in a neutral way. So we're not reacting. We're acting from an intelligent, neutral-minded space in our mind. So in order to do that, we have to calm open the body and get the flow going and open our chakra systems. So we need to open the body so we can calm the breath down and we can calm the mind down. So when you have that reaction situation happening, you can go, let me step back here and look at this like a movie. Let me witness this here and let me act without being reactive and judging and having all kinds of dramas and things like that.
And my problem is turning my head off. I can't turn my head off ever.
So that's why the music we're listening to is a mantra, and any other songs that come on, this is the same mantra. It's Wahe Guru. And we always say what that means. Wahe means wow. It's in Sanskrit. Wow, Wahe, wow.
Wahe.
And Guru means the one who takes you from the darkness. Gu is dark, and Ru is light. So the guru is the one who takes you from the darkness to the light. He's the way
I
shower.
didn't know that. I
He's
just
the
thought it was a
way-shower.
word. That's so cool.
This is Kundalini Yoga. And
What's the difference?
Kundalini, all yoga is coming from the same classic 84 asana postures. Kundalini is the yoga of awareness. You become more aware inside by movement and meditation. And then you become more aware on the outside and you rise in consciousness, and we clear our chakra system so that we can rise in consciousness. And right now there's amazing Stargate portals happening on August 8th. There's the Lion's Gate.
I saw that. You posted that.
Where it's the Egyptian New Year because the sun is aligned with Sirius, which is the planet that the pyramids are in alignment with. So it's DNA, new downloads will be happening that will upgrades our DNA. And the more our bodies are open and we're aware of this, the more that we receive these downloads and are aware of them and can act and become more conscious. And when we become more conscious, everyone else becomes more conscious. So we all rise together in humanity and consciousness.
This is so cool. Now, this is so hard for me to actually, I'm listening, but it's so hard for me to digest, because I was raised with religion. I was raised Catholic. And
Me too.
so
I was baptized Catholic.
Yes.
To my first communion.
So I need to learn how to it's almost like shamanism, it sounds like.
Yeah, it is.
Similar to,
It's
but
alchemy. It's alchemy, and we use numerology. Numerology is very important in life in general. It's sacred geometry, and our bodies are like, look, we're sitting like a triangle right now. We're creating sacred geometry with our bodies.
Very
so
cool.
when we begin to think in terms of sacred geometry, and we look at sacred geometry, like this is sacred geometry. This is a Metatron gong. Metatron is the leader of all the angels. So an angels speak to us through numbers. That's the language, because even crop circles, they're all sacred geometry. They can, angels and people from other lands, other systems, star systems, speak to us in numbers. So this is all numerical. This is Metatron, and these are his hands, the healing hands of Metatron.
Very cool.
So
awesome.
So driving here the whole way, I'm seeing, like, when you start seeing triple numbers all the time, you have a number, that's angelic language coming through. So we're at the portal of the sun and Sirius lining up, and that is creating a Stargate portal for us to receive key codes from the Syrians, if you want to believe in that, where they're upgrading our consciousness. So it's going to be very interesting to see. We're going through a very interesting time in the world right now.
Yeah.
And we have,
to say the least.
We need to, it's the time of, it's D-Day is right now. We have to have a come to Jesus meeting with the world.
Yeah.
And we have to get real here with what is going on the planet. And do the right thing, right action, right relationship, be right in with animals, with each other, with nature, in all ways. And so the only way I know to get to that place of right action is through yoga. And this came from India and from the East. So East and West are meeting up now, just like it was been predicted. You know? So our bodies
Scary
are like
stuff.
computers. We have mudras. We press our fingers together to create impulses in the body that affect the neurotransmitters in our bodies that send signals to the brain. Okay? So we're just going to do today what is called a warm-up. It's a warming up the body to prepare it for meditation. That's what yoga does.
And I have to tell you, even now, after all that talk, my shoulders are still tense. I'm still tensed up. I am just a bag of freaking tension.
Okay, that's about to change.
I hope so. Suck it out of me, girl.
Okay, sweetheart. Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to put my mic down.
Okay. So I'm going to speak through my mic.
Okay.
So everyone, if you'd like to join in with us, I invite you to do that. I'm just going to turn this. Whoops. I'm just going to lower the music a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I got it here. And so let's just come together. What we do in Kundalini Yoga is we bring our hands together to the center of our chest, and we rub our hands together. And then just bring the hands together at the center of your chest to the sternum, and you press your thumbs against the sternum, and this activates the vagus nerve, which activates the heart and the lungs to start circulating and distributing energy throughout the body. So we're going to do 3 big inhales. So inhale in, exhale, another big inhale and hold at the top. Just hold for a second. Exhale. And then inhale one more time. And we always begin the class, you can exhale, with an invocation called Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And that is the creator and the name of the one creator and the guru who takes us from the darkness into the light. And we invite our wisdom teachers and our golden chain of teachers to come into this moment. And all of our archangels coming in, interdimensional beings coming in. So I will say it. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And the eyes are closed, looking into the brow point, activating the third eye, your pineal gland, and your intuition. So we're expanding our sensory perception. So inhale, exhale, and bring your hands down to your knees. And we're just going to begin Sufi grind. So I'll show you here. You're rotating from your waistline, and you're holding on to your knees, and using your abdominals on the back side to keep you grounded into the earth. And we rotate and open up at the sacrum, And one of my teachers, Guru Singh, says, and we stir the sacrum with the spoon of the spine. So we get the spine involved, and we open up the four corners of our hips, and we root ourselves into the earth, and then begin in the opposite direction. So we unwind now, and we can visualize circles going up our spine to activate the spine and to energetically activate the spine by visualizing it. And we are effectively encouraging the Kundalini energy that lies coiled at the base of our spine to rise up our spine. We're encouraging it to rise and release. And inhale, center. Hold the breath and squeeze the root lock. Squeeze the lower three chakras. Squeeze them tight and send the energy up your spine to the top of your crown. And exhale. And then get a nice tight grip on your ankles. And we begin to flex forward, the chest forward, and flex back. Flex forward and flex back, tucking the tailbone under on the flex back. And inhale, flex forward. Exhale, flex back. Inhale, we chant Sat. And on the exhale, flex, we chant Nam. So it's Sat, Nam. Sat means truth, and Nam means name. So we stand in our truth. Satyagraha means to stand in your truth, or truth is my identity. So we live in truth, we speak the truth, we arrive in truth, we depart in truth. Everything is truth. So there's integrity in that. So we are now flexing the spine frontwards and backwards, and this is again encouraging the Kundalini energy to rise up the spine. Inhale, center, and hold. Squeeze the root lock, squeeze tight, send the energy up. This is clearing your sacral, your root, your sacral, and your solar plexus chakra. Exhale. Now bring your hands to your shoulders with your fingertips facing forward and your thumb on the back side on both hands. And twist to the left and twist to the right. So it's inhale left, exhale right. Inhale Sat, exhale Nam. Eyes are closed, looking into the brow point. Inhale, exhale. And it's so important to use the breath, because the breath is our life force. It's what keeps our bodies going, and which also creates youth in the body, because you're creating and bringing in fresh oxygen. And you're introducing that into your blood, and then you're twisting and turning and stretching your body in every direction. And so that fresh oxygenated blood is getting distributed throughout the body. Inhale, center. Squeeze the root lock. So now you send that energy back up through the crown chakra. And exhale. Bring your hands onto your knees and your hands into Gyan Mudra. That means your thumb and your index finger touch, and the remaining 3 fingers are extended, holding on your knees. And just now experience the sensation of your body, how it might feel a little bit differently now, a little bit more expansive. And we'll begin shoulder shrugs. So inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders down. So it's Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam. It's a silent chant in your mind as you shrug the shoulders up and let them drop down. And you feel like a tension release. And you do that for a minute or 2 minutes, and you start to really feel the tension in your neck and your shoulders. I've been whiplashed 3 times. Wow. And sitting at a desk for many hours at a time, writing and editing, and your shoulders and your neck get really painful. So this helps to drain that pain out of your neck, and it also is sending the energy up. Where are you at? You're at your throat chakra, right? So you're sending your energy up. They say you're opening the hormonal gates to your higher brain centers. You're sending the spinal fluid up. Now inhale and hold your shoulders up. Hold and squeeze and consolidate in the neck. Hold, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And experience your soul force. Experience your life force expansion here. And inhale, turn your head to the left Exhale, turn to the right. Inhale, Sat. Exhale, Nam. Listening to the sound of Waheguru. Wow. The Guru is taking me from the darkness into the light. Sat. Nam. Eyes are focused in the third eye center, not moving. As you start to notice that your mind is getting quieter. And when your mind starts to talk, you go to the mantra, Waheguru. Let the mantra take you on a ride. Inhale, center. Hold. Send the energy up. Hold. Exhale. And tuck your chin to your chest. And begin big neck circles, rotating your neck all the way around, maintaining the eye closed, looking into the brow point. You're connecting with your intuition. You're expanding and developing your sensory perceptions so that as we rise in consciousness, less words will be necessary. You will be able to communicate through your arc line, your halo, through your eyes, and go in the opposite direction. And this is stimulating the throat chakra, your thyroid gland, and in spirals, sending the energy, Kundalini energy, up into your brain center to connect with your chakra, your crown chakra, to connect with your third eye. Inhale, center.
You are not kidding. I'm totally relaxed now.
All right, and now exhale. Makes a big difference. And now just listen to your heart and feel the expansion. And you can turn around and lie down on your back, and I'm going to give you a little gong bath.
This is cool. Let's see. I've never had one of these.
So you bring your feet down.
Okay. Okay.
And you just relax.
Are they going to be? They might not be able to see me, but that's okay.
I'll have the mic right next to the gong here.
Okay.
Put both our mics there. Inhale. And exhale. And you can begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And rotate your wrists. Rotate your ankles. And just bring your hands and your feet together and rub them together. So bring your feet up to touch with each other. Yep. Like that. Or wrap your elbows around your knees now and hug yourself. Yep. And you can rock from side to side. And then you can roll up on your back a couple of times. Just roll up a couple of times. And then you come back up into a sitting position.
Oh my goodness.
And you've just rocked your Kundalini.
I just rocked my Kundalini. That is awesome. That was my first yoga experience ever. Did you know this? I called it a bong earlier. It's a gong.
That was the best question of the day. She goes, can you bring your bong?
Can you bring your bong? Now, I have to say, I felt I felt it in my toes and in my fingers. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
It's the ultimate healing tool. It's very difficult for your brain to compete with the gong. And so it's a clearing of the subconscious mind is what the gong does.
Is it Pisces?
It actually is not a pasty. It's a sonic energy, but I do have two pasty ones.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have my Earth Sound Creation gong, and I have a symphonic gong. And this is my this is my beach gong. And I just absolutely love it because it's Metatron. I saw Metatron's the leader of all the angels, and it was buried in the website. It's from Gongs Unlimited, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Gongs Unlimited is the place to buy gongs. They are the coolest people.
Uh-huh.
And so I've purchased 3 gongs from them now, and this stand and
it's gorgeous.
Amazing. Yeah.
It is so gorgeous. So you just tuned in to Lisa S. Johnson. She's absolutely freaking amazing. I mean, you are a woman of so many talents. She's a photographer and author of 108 Rockstar Guitars. She's currently in the making of her second book. This book here took 17 years in the making, traveling around the world, taking pictures of famous people's guitars, going backstage, underneath the stairs, going to their homes, anywhere and any place.
I'm game. I'm up for it, wherever they'll let me.
She's also a yoga instructor. She has a class every Saturday live. Tell us where we can find you.
On Instagram at cosmic_108. So it's cosmic108, but there's got to be that underscore underneath. Mm-hmm. And Lisa S. Johnson, you can probably find me that way too. And also, I have started an Instagram account for Immortal Axis. Nothing's posted on it yet. I needed to secure the name.
Oh my gosh!
It's
yes.
on there. I'm not promoting it yet. I'm not in promotional mode yet. And you will see it. But yeah, follow 108 Rockstar Guitars on Instagram, and also Cosmic 108. On Instagram, and come take my class every Saturday, 10 a.m.
Pacific Standard Time.
That's LA time. Mm-hmm. And we're working on the chakra system right now. So we've done the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart chakra was last Saturday, and then this coming Saturday it's the throat. And then all of these classes, usually the same day or no later than Sunday, they're posted to my YouTube channel. So and I post them to my Facebook page, which is Lisa S. Johnson on Facebook.
Where do you go live? On
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, and you want to be it's live. You get that energy, exchange. It's still real. It's still there. You feel
but
the energy.
I need this gong / how I called it bong. I need this. And my fiance, he's endorsed with Pisces, and so they have gongs and stuff.
You're going to get yourself a gong.
I think I'm going to get it, but no, because I need you to come here every day and do the little thingies.
Yeah, well, I'll come back.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'll go to you.
Yeah, come out, and I would love for you to come over.
I would love to. My house. Yes,
we can do another podcast if you want from my house.
I would love that, Lisa S. Johnson.
Yeah,
Lisa S. Johnson. You can find her at
Cosmic_108 and at 108 Rockstar Guitars. Either one.
And if you have any questions, email me or leave comments right here. I know people are tripping out, and this is what Rag House Media is all about. Rag House Radio, empowering other women who are badass. Yep. Lisa S. Johnson fits right under that category, girlfriend.
And I love the work that you do, April,
and
for having me on the show, and
of
for all
course.
the work that you do in supporting women in music.
I love it.
Along with Laura Whitmore,
yes,
girl, and She Rocks Awards.
Women's International Music Network. What's up? Shout out to you.
Yeah.
We miss you guys. We hope NAMM happens this year. I'm going for sure this year if it happens. Are you going to go or you don't think so?
I don't think I'm going this year.
Because
it's the
of
first
everything?
year I've missed, and this will be my 8th year. Yeah, it's just
because of everything?
I'm going to wait until Immortal Axis is available.
Oh my God, we're going to miss you. You're always there. You're like
I know, and I hate to lose my booth, but when I get the book is out, I'm going to have a double wide booth, and it's going to be awesome.
If you need help, let me know.
I
would be more than
that. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
Even if it's just loading in and loading out.
I'll be back. I'll probably go attend. I'll attend now.
Nice.
And I'm not going to have a booth. I'll just cruise and get ready and scope out, spots because I'm going to have, it's going to be cool when the book comes out. And
Yes.
We'll have a kind of like a relaunch of 108 Rockstar Guitars at NAMM. I've got so many. Dimebag Darrell's guitar, his Dime from Hell, his Dean from Hell guitars in it, and Peter Frampton's guitars in it, and Peter's writing the foreword for this book. So
my goodness. So there you go. There you have it. So if you're tuning in right now, you know all about it. We love you, Lisa S. Johnson.
You too, April.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
And thank you for being so patient.
Let's rock.
You guys have a good evening.
All right. Cheers.
Peace out. How cool is this?